G'day everybody. Monday, 4th of October. It's been a public holiday for us. You beauty. I needed it. We went to a mate's property last night. Had a campfire, sat around the campfire, cooked up a good roast pork and veggies in the old camp oven, cast iron camp oven. Turned out a treat. Mrs. had a great idea to sleep on the ground under the stars beside the campfire. No mattress, no nothing. I didn't want to, but I thought to keep her happy I will. I was tired, I went to sleep and woke up about 2 hours later. Sore back, sore hips, I was changing positions. I gave it about another 2 hours. Sore neck, sore everything. Then I realised, oh my God, I'm form working again. I'm doing construction work. We work 6 days a week, 9 to 10 hours a day, plus the drive home, so it turns into 11, 12 hours. And I'm going to have no time to rest anything that's sore. So tried sleeping in the car, that didn't work. So in other words, had an absolute terrible sleep. I've just been laying around all day today. It's been a hot day. I don't know what it was, but I'm assuming it was every bit over 30 degrees. I'd say easily, probably at least 31, if not 32. So yeah, it's been one of those sort of shitty days, but it did allow me to watch a fair bit of YouTube. I subscribed to 2 more people. What was it? Was it Arizona Bladesman or something like that? Who sent one of D-Bad's little, what's his little knife called? The Little Big Man. Had the chip in the blade, so that video there. And I think, and D-Bad was asking people to give him a little nudge over 200. Well, I subbed to you, mate, and I'm number 207. Anyway, and then I subbed to somebody else through the comments on his channel. I seen my mate Steve Borg was out doing some protest today, and good on you, mate. We're fighting the same fight over here, man. I just watched something ridiculous before, like basically watching our mainstream media. It's just like comedy. I seen that oh my God, there was Queensland, my state where I live, has recorded 1 positive COVID result. Oh my God, it looks like we're going to go into lockdown. Who bloody knows? But that's how stupid it is. Like, it's literally that retarded. We've got a pandemic and we've got 1 person in like what, 3 point something million people. Anyway, and absolutely terrible news, and it is. I don't mean to be taking the piss out of 2 people losing their lives, but it's national news that 2 people from ACT, that's the Australian Capital Territory, it's like a mini little state sort of thing, in Canberra, which is the capital of Australia for those who don't know. They recorded 2 deaths overnight. National news. They've got a health spokesman and everything doing a press conference about it. Both ladies in their 80s. Both of them were in palliative care. They were dying. They were already dying, receiving palliative care, and they apparently died from COVID, and it's national news. I'm kind of speechless, like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there is no such thing as COVID at all, and I'm not anti anybody who goes and gets a vaccine or anything like that. What I am anti is telling me how to think, telling me how to live my life, telling me what I've got to put in my arm, otherwise I don't get a job, I don't go to movies, I don't go to shops, I don't get to feed my kids and look after my family. And I'm anti the dividing the country, you know, dividing families because of bullshit. Okay, why don't we just get the vulnerable put rings of steel around the vulnerable, whether that's nursing homes, hospitals, etc., etc. Put extra things in place around them, quarantine things in place, and on international borders. Okay, why can't we just secure those areas, let the country go back to function again, let small businesses get going? You know, I know I'm absolutely insane and I'm a conspiracy theorist, obviously, because that's what I think, but the biggest conspiracy is what they're telling, what the government tells us, and what the media is pushing. This lady who, from one of my videos on, was it Friday, the Premier of New South Wales, she resigned because she's under investigation of corruption, but she's one of the main players of ordering the cops to go and violently arrest people who aren't wearing masks, imposing lockdowns on something that it's killing 80-year-olds with palliative care. You know, it's a joke. They love to report on athletes. Oh, another a fit athlete has been admitted to hospital. Anybody with half a brain that's done any sort of training, fight training, sprinting, anything on a professional level, when you're in your training camp to get to that, coming up to your event, you're like a drag. Your body is like a drag racing motor. It is pushed past the limits of what's reasonable to get every last ounce of fat, every last little bit of performance it possibly can. It's on edge to break, you know, and you're pushing everything to break. You're risking breaking everything because you're competing. That's your job. That's your whatever it is that's driving you to compete to that level. Your immune system's down. You're not eating enough food. You know, that's why they get sick too, because they're not. Yes, they're very fit, but for those few weeks coming up to or around a competition time, they're not at peak health. You know, so they love to push that. So don't be fooled, people. It's not a conspiracy from using your brain. It's a conspiracy to believe the shit that's coming down through the mainstream media and just believing it hook, line and sinker. Okay, so anyway, let's get that shit out of the road. But anyway, that was to say g'day to Steve Borg fighting the fight over there.